The internet has turned into a gallery of some of the dumbest people alive shouting bullshit at one another as loud as they possibly can. And I say that with the utmost disrespect. These people who once used to rail on and on about cancel culture and people being triggered, woke, are the first people to piss and shit their diapers over a trans character or a black character in a video game. They have unchecked connections to power and will turn a blind eye when real injustices, real cancellations are happening in the real world, like students being arrested and having their visas revoked for protesting a literal genocide that's happening in broad daylight. People being black-bagged and kidnapped off the street, trafficked to different states or different countries entirely, sometimes disappearing into concentration camps in other countries.
I get what you're saying, but why would you want gang members in your country? Why do you believe everything that the government tells you? Why do you automatically assume that every single person being deported is a gang member? Why do you not want the American court system to actually actively handle violent gang members? A big part of this problem right now is that they're nabbing everybody, whoever they can, without any sort of consideration, without any due process whatsoever. Due process is a right. It exists for a very good reason. It's so that the government doesn't do this, because the government that can do this to Venezuelans can do this to other Americans as well eventually. And if you think that they're not going to do that, you are fucking delusional.
All this is to say, there are times when I feel like I don't deserve to have a voice. And I feel like the world would be a little bit better if everyone just kind of shut the fuck up every now and then.
Workers, trans.
It's a bit of a miss. Like, my understanding is that they burned them not because it was gender stuff, but because it was written in Jewish and not German. Written in Jewish.
I just watched the Carl Jobst video about the Riley CS cheating situation, and I just find it so interesting how the people who are so vocally convinced that she cheated are the ones who also are really hell-bent on misgendering her. It just seems like there might be a little bit of motivated reasoning there. Now, to be honest, I really don't care if Riley CS cheated or not. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think Riley CS is that important of a person, but I just find it hella unsurprising that the people who Jobst featured in that video are the same loud, vocal, anti-woke types that would jump at any opportunity to yell at a trans person. The streaming space is filled with racist, misogynists, literal Nazis in some cases, pedophiles, rapists, people who don't need a microphone in their face. They should be pushed to the far reaches of society to atone for whatever bullshit they have put into the world. And yet they're given a voice and given a platform and given thousands of adoring fans who will eat up everything they put out there, because the internet has fundamentally transformed celebrity and opened the floodgates on who is allowed celebrity. And now, I've never really liked the concept of a celebrity in the first place, and I think we found over the last several decades that a lot of really bad people were given the privilege of celebrity when they really didn't deserve it. We used to assume that that was because of their skills and talent in a particular area, and they deserved fame and fortune. And we're realizing a lot of those people got lucky and exploited their way to the top. Or sometimes the exploitation is just a fun bonus for them. But now we have people who would be otherwise nobodies given massive platforms, massive influence over large swaths of the human population. And these people are straight up just the worst people.
And now, I'm not going to say a lot of these titles for obvious reasons, but if you notice, this channel is still up, and
they're so hateful, they're so toxic, they're so vitriolic. Some of them are actual literal criminals and Nazis. And it's like, why is this okay?
And you thought, oh, it's just one guy, right? No, allow me to introduce you to the second loser. Call me Invader. Now, this is doing the same thing. Yeah, this is a white guy. This is definitely not a black guy doing this. This is not a black dude.
What happened to shame? What happened to public pressure? What happened to excising the worst parts of our communities? This started off as a video about why I don't stream anymore, and if you can't tell, it's not scripted at all. It's gotten a little more philosophical than that. I've been in a very pensive mood recently, if it hasn't been obvious. Life's been very unkind, and so I've had way too much time to think about things. For those who don't know, around the, I think, 2020s, 2021, 2022, I did a little bit of streaming. It was around the time that Pokemon Arceus came out, because I very specifically remember streaming that game. I also did a little bit of speedrunning of Resident Evil Village and some other stuff. And there are three main reasons why I decided I didn't want to stream anymore. And one of the main reasons was that I just felt like not everyone needs such a prominent voice. There's a weird dissonance to me when I see someone who's put up on this metaphorical stage and you have just countless people rapidly communicating them this kind of 1.5 sided communication where there's massive amounts of information being pushed toward the streamer, and the streamer gets to pick and choose what they respond to. It's this really weird power imbalance, and I like it in some instances. Like, I really enjoy Hassan's political commentary, but I don't watch his streams. I'll just watch the clips that are uploaded to YouTube after. I just don't have the time to sit there for hours. Being on the other side of it, I just found it so weird. It was like there was too much attention being thrown at me. It felt like a bit of a self-inflicted panopticon where I'm choosing to be watched, and I'm never sure which one of my myriad tics or quirks or idiosyncrasies is going to be the one that's going to set someone off or something that someone's going to respond to. And it feels good when you get noticed, but it also feels weird and unsettling. Like, why is everyone watching me? I never really got that many viewers in general, but I've always found my speed was more focused, intimate, recorded, edited videos where I could just kind of talk about something, and after I've uploaded it, there's some distance between me and the people who are watching me. I've always liked for my art and the stuff that I create to have this buffer between myself and those who are experiencing it. In a perfect world, I'd like to just be able to put stuff out there and have people enjoy it and have my own identity as the person who created it be completely invisible. I have this weird sort of social anxiety which extends into the internet, where I just feel incredibly uncomfortable when I'm having a direct back and forth with someone, even through text or in a video call. It feels incredibly unsettling to me in a way that I can work through, but is always just there itching beneath my skin. My current therapist thinks I might have BPD, and I'm not sure how that would affect this sort of sensation, this psychological sensation. But in any case, it makes it very hard for me to interface with the internet the way it was made to be interfaced with, at least in its current iteration, you know, with Discord and YouTube comments and stream comments and Twitter. It's all that stuff that I really don't like. I like to just put stuff out there and then kind of flee back into my cave where people don't have to look at me. So I think that's reason number one I decided to stop streaming, is because while it did feel good and while there was a dopamine rush whenever I did get viewers and likes and comments, I just really felt uncomfortable being looked at so much. So part of me decided maybe it's best for me to just stick to what I think I'm good at, which is toiling away at something and putting it out and letting people experience it on their own time. Reason number two why I stopped streaming is that it's just too time consuming. because a large part of my art and my creative work and just my life in general is very solitary, I like to just sit down and grind and grind and grind on something until I think it's good enough to put out into the world. And I can't do that if I'm streaming. I found this incredible sort of stress whenever I streamed, where I would put so much effort into preparing for it, and then I would be doing it and I would feel exhausted afterward. In the back of my mind, I would think, I could have used that time to continue writing a novel, or to edit a video, or to work through and really pick through an analysis of a game, or to make a song, or something else that I couldn't have done while I was streaming. And I have much respect to people like, I think YMS has done this, where they're able to edit a video while they're streaming. I have no idea how that's even possible. Maybe it's just because I haven't built up the multitasking ability to be able to do that, but I just cannot be creative when there are other people around me, and I definitely cannot be creative when people are just watching me. That unsettling feeling comes back, and then I can't be raw with my thoughts. I can't be raw with myself and pick through what I'm feeling and try to translate that into a piece of art. I instead have to be constantly aware that someone else is there and they have expectations. They want me to do something, and that scares me. I have been reevaluating the idea, though, that sometimes working through my own live thoughts in the moment is actually meaningful and valuable. And so there are times when I have been playing a video game on my own, and I've been trying to record my own live reaction to things. I haven't made a habit of it, but every now and then when I think I will have something interesting to say, I will have myself mic'd up, and I will, be synchronizing it to gameplay in order to capture a live reaction, because you can't recreate that. I just finished Baldur's Gate 3 on honor mode. I am playing through Death Stranding 2. I played through Marvel Spider-Man 2 for the first time, and there are a lot of times when I'm just sitting alone with my own thoughts and I have a reaction to something, and I think to myself, wow, that reaction would have really been valuable if someone else had seen it. That spins off into a whole topic of loneliness, doesn't it? We're not going to get into loneliness or the loneliness epidemic, although I think that is also a large part of why streaming is such a big industry, and it's also representative of the horrors of capitalism. But all that is to say, there are times when, while I'm experiencing something on my own, I will journal it or record it or capture audio in some way with the intention of sharing that live processing. Although not all that makes it out there. You might have seen some of it if you watched my Sex Plus Chess video. I did do some live recordings there and tried to integrate that into the larger analysis of the games I was talking about. And I think that's valuable, and I want to keep doing more of that in the future. And so that brings me to reason number 3 why I stopped streaming, is just that not everyone needs to be a streamer. It seems in this brand-focused age of the internet, everyone has a Discord, everyone has a subreddit, everyone is a streamer. It's like, not all of my live thoughts need to be broadcast to the world. In fact, I'd prefer it if most of my live thoughts were not broadcast to the world. So I don't know how it's so easy for so many people to want to do that to themselves. And I think a lot of the drama we've seen on the internet in the last few years has come as a result of that. Not even just because someone is a bad person. Like I mentioned in the beginning, there are a lot of rapists, pedophiles, Nazis who have live streamed platforms, or at least, podcast formats where it may be pre-recorded, but they're still able to just kind of shout out their live, unfiltered thoughts into the world. But even good or well-meaning people who are just out there all the time just talking. Sometimes, maybe this is just me being misanthropic or something, but sometimes I just feel like everyone needs to shut the fuck up. There are really big, really important, really paradigm shattering things happening in the world right now, and it's been incredibly scary. And there's this incredible dissonance I feel when I think about all that stuff that's going on, and then I go back and I see someone stream where they're reacting to Riley CS cheating scandal and constantly misgendering her. It's given me this kind of really jaded view of humanity. I just find myself wishing the world were quieter, wishing the world could slow down a little bit. And I don't really know what to do with those thoughts, because nothing's changing, and especially all the worst people in the world who have these platforms are going to continue having them and going to continue growing. But I felt that my place amid all of it would be better if... Am I about to start crying? I'm not going to start crying right now. Sorry, I felt something coming on, but it seems to be subsiding. My place in all of it was to step back. I didn't need to be a streamer. I didn't need to have my life thoughts broadcast for everyone to see and pick apart. Not that I would ever have grown to the levels of some of these assholes, but even so, even on the small stage, the small space that I occupied, I felt that I didn't deserve it, and I didn't need it, and no one else needed it either. It was better for me, it was better for the world if I just stepped back and allowed my thoughts to be ruminated upon and curated and distilled so that people could get something meaningful and worthwhile. I don't know if I really have anything more to say than that. I'm not even really sure what this video is, but I hope someone appreciates it. Thank you for your time. Take care. Free Palestine, and I hope you're all doing well. Keep me in your thoughts if you can. I've been really struggling, and I'm in desperate need of some love and grace. Have a good one, and take care. Bye. Also, fuck Ethan Klein, just like in general.